Quite the view we got today, huh, fellas? Woo! So, I've been in Florida, Highland Beach, for about 6 days now. I just extended my flight 4 more days because it's absolutely amazing here. It's like 10 degrees where I live, but I've had a lot of observations since I've been here, right? A lot of observations. I don't travel much. I haven't traveled a lot. And so when I get into a new culture like this, I get very observant, right? I want to pick up on different cues. And the third day I was here, I went out on a boat with my dad's buddy. My dad didn't come with, he was sick. And his friends are all pretty wealthy, right? Older guys. And they brought me along, right? And so I get on the boat, I get introduced to all these guys, and every single one of them commented on my physique, right? They said, wow, like you're in great shape. And then for the rest of the time there, they had questions for me, they were engaged. And I realized if I didn't have a good physique, right, in a room full of high status men, I would have zero value. Pretty much, I would feel like I have zero value. If I was a skinny dweeb in that boat, I would feel like a waste of space in that room, right? And that's something that is so simple to do. Just get in shape. Like making a bunch of money, that takes years building wealth. Getting in shape doesn't take that long. It just takes a couple months of consistency, depending on where your starting point is, right? And then you build. In addition, Florida is a lot healthier than Chicago, right? The women are much more beautiful. The men are in much greater shape, a lot wealthier. And it's just an environment that makes you want to work, makes you want to be healthy, makes you want to make money, right? I'm sitting here along these apartments. These are all like $500,000 apartments. And then on the other side, these are like $1 million mansions. And when I see these mansions, it's just like a reminder of what's possible, right? I've never lived in like the hood, but I can't imagine what that would do to someone, right? All you see is people being broke mindsets, right? You don't see any of the success, and your mind has like no choice but to operate under that paradigm too, right? Now, the thing about the woman here is, man, are they beautiful. Like the average woman here is like a 7 or 8 in Chicago, to where I'm from. But the thing is, the status of man is also much, much higher, right? Now, if you're playing the game, meaning you are actually looking to have a high quality woman with high life satisfaction, good finances, right? Level yourself up as a man, you're going to have to do it more in this environment, right? But the thing is it's going to force you to do it more, right? If you're in an environment where for hypergamy, for example, where the top 10% of men is higher than your other environment, and in order to get the woman you want, you got to be in that top 10%, you're going to make it happen, brother. And making it happen is going to make you a much better man versus if the standards were lower. That's the reason to get around killers, right? That's the reason to get around high competition. Now, for me personally, I told myself I was going to be out of Chicagoland by next winter, right? I was thinking Utah. Now I'm thinking maybe Florida based on my experience here so far. But I need an environment change, right? I need to get around success. It's so motivating, brothers. It's so motivating. Now, although a lot of individuals out here are wealthy, right? You know, a lot of businessmen, successful people in business and finances, right? I've come to realize just because you know finance and business does not mean you know women at all, right? Some of the guys who we were talking to when we were talking about chicks had no idea of some of the fundamental principles about women. And I talked to my dad's buddy, and he was like, yeah, these guys are absolutely clueless. In addition, I was watching a Tony Robbins podcast yesterday with Alex Hormozy. And Tony Robbins was like, yeah, my first marriage, the girl was 12 years older than me and had 2 kids with 2 different men. And he's like, yeah, I was just at an age where I wasn't able to pattern recognize. he was still insanely successful, and he could not see that, number one, she wanted him for his money, and number two, it was an awful decision. That he still felt like that was the best he could get, right? And so that's one thing that could really separate people around here, and so that's something that could really separate you. And I was talking to my dad's buddy, and he's like, almost no men understand this stuff. Almost no men with this wealth, with this finance, understand the laws of dating, right? The way the female mind works, and they all get fucked over, he says. He says, every man out here simps, right? It gets and has no idea how to actually build sexual attraction. And this is coming from him, right? So I would say one of the highest leverage things you guys can do is really learn female human nature. Read The Rational Male, right? Read Way of Superior Man. Those two will give you a basis understanding. And if you have any more questions, look them up on YouTube, right? Get in the dating world a little bit. But I would highly recommend learning these things before you even get in the dating world, because learning them the hard way is going to take way longer. It's going to be way harder. But yeah, brothers, I feel good. Just being out in nature for the first time in a while, out in the sunshine, it really just like rejuvenates you, you know? And that's why people are healthier here too, is because they just get more sun. They just get more sunshine. And so people are happier, healthier. It's like you can't be depressed if you have weather like this, sun like this, ocean right here. And yeah, boys, much love. Until next time.